Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Graham Plays Feed the Beast here. We're in roughly the same place we left you off there, except I spent a bunch of time planning out kind of what we want to do. Yeah, last time we were talking about putting in some solar panels here and bat box, and yeah, you can kind of see that we need 7 batteries I got planned out. And turns out that even the lowest solar panels here, there's high voltage and stuff like that, but just the basic one, our solar panels, is still actually fairly expensive. You know, it needs 4 generators, or sorry, a generator and 2 circuits, and then some coal dust. Um, and that's not bad for one, but one doesn't get you much. It gives you one EU per tick. So I'm hoping that 4 is going to be enough to at least run a couple of machines here with a bat box, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us started. So anyways, four generators, and 4 of these is actually fairly expensive. I used maybe half a stack of coal. I didn't quite keep track or anything. Not coal, copper. So yeah. Anyways, let's get started here. I want this for something else, just to start cooking. Okay, so let me clean up my inventory a bit. This is all stuff we don't need right away. Even those. Okay. So let's make 7 batteries. Okay, you guys go on the outside. Okay. It makes us an RE battery. Now, crap, I can't remember the recipe. Bat box. One of these. 3 batteries and a tin cable. I don't know if I have 1 tin cable left. Come on. There you go. Okay. Tin cable up top. 3 batteries. You see that leaves us the 4 for our generators. So a bat box. What a bat box is just like our generator here that has a little bit of a buffer. The bat box is the same way. And I hope I'm placing this correctly. It should orient itself too. Anyways, a bat box is just a big buffer. It's just a big battery, and it can also charge up some of your stuff. Important to know, once we start getting into more powerful stuff, the out is not always 32 EU per tick. Your machines can only accept 32 EU per tick, so you have to start getting transformers and stuff like that. But for the time being, we're just fine running it like this. And so yeah, the bat box is just a big buffer. So if we start cooking up our coal this time, you can see our buffer doesn't. Oh yeah, it's not going the right way. Okay, which means we need to get a wrench. That sucks. I can't tell quite which way this guy's facing right now. Crap. Okay. Well, I'm going to take a pause here, guys. I'm going to get ourselves what I think we need is a wrench. One of these. It's made out of bronze. Bronze, I think, is, how do you do this? Is copper and bronze dust. I think you have to combine coal and copper and tin somehow. Okay, I'm gonna figure some stuff out, guys. I'll be right back with you. Hey, sorry about that, guys. So what we were just talking about there, the wrench, is only if you're picking up your machines. So these things here, if you don't use a wrench to pick them up, just like you use a pick on cobble. If I was to use a pick on here, it might drop us back to the machine casing, but we'd lose the whole machine. So you have to have one of the wrenches to pick it up. Bat box is not like that. The battery box, you can just use your pickaxe to pick it up. And you can see the buffer has gone out of our generator and it's into our solar panel, or into our bat box now. And I got a bit of iron cooking up there for us. Okay, so the next thing is that we want to make a couple of solar panels so we can stop using our like that. Stop using coal to power up our stuff. And yeah, this is gonna be more of an experiment, guys, because I don't really know whether we have enough capacity with 4 solar panels or not. So yeah, let's find out. 8. Give me a break. There you go. Okay, how did I? What if these are backwards? Nope. Okay. Generator, electric circuits. Oh, because these are iron furnaces right now, not generators. Crap. Okay. And a generator. So another 4 batteries, 3 more iron plates per thing. I'm glad I'm moving some iron here. That's what I made those 4 batteries for, I guess. I think that's annoying. Okay, so I have the 4 batteries on me. I need a couple more iron plates. And I stole my hammer. I need 12 plates. I need 1 more. Okay, so these go there, 4 of those give us 4 generators. Now if we go like this, I forget which way, I forget which one's on top. Yeah, this must be upside down. There we go, 4 solar panels. Okay, so our bat box is at 0, everything's at 0. So if we go 1 more copper wire, like that. So those are connecting in, starting to get some power. It's all going to the macerator right now. 1 more solar panel on top. Yeah, so everything's just going into the macerator right now. It's actually starting to build up a bit of power. So we're actually making a tiny bit more power than we're using right now. So that's good. That's what we want. Okay, so I'm going to let this run just for a little bit here, guys. The next thing we want to do is start preparing to put down our quarry, and for that we need collect some oil, get a refinery going, lots of things like that. I haven't quite decided where I want to do this yet either, because I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't really want a quarry right in front of our base here, but I'd prefer to get our quarry going out here in the ocean, but that kind of means moving our power a long ways, and that's kind of tricky, the early part of the game here. So let me think about this. Let me gather a bunch of materials. I gotta let a bunch of things macerate and stuff like that, and I'll be back with you guys shortly. Hi guys, welcome back. Just out front of our base here, you can see I've started to make a couple changes, and I think we're ready to start moving some oil. So I'm going to talk you through what we did here, and then we'll move some oil. First things first, figured out if you take your crafting table and you craft your crafting table, it makes you a crafting station. And where there's a crafting table, if you walk away from it, with a crafting station you can leave stuff in here, and it just remains there for you. So if you forget something from a recipe, you can just put the items in here and it stays there. Under our first thing, these are chutes. They work exactly like a Minecraft hopper. You can see the recipe is roughly the same except for the stone gear. And I'll show you that. Gears are Buildcraft items. That's pretty much how you build up Buildcraft machines are all kind of based off of gears and stuff like that. And your gears start off as 4 sticks like this. That makes you a wooden gear. And then you take your wooden gear, you put cobble around it. That gives you a stone gear. I got stuff in my way. Then you can take your iron, you put iron around it. That makes you an iron gear. That's how you build up your Buildcraft gears. And so the chute for Buildcraft, just like your hopper, requires a stone gear in the middle of it, and everything else is pretty much the same. Your chutes work exactly like Minecraft hoppers, where you can put items in the top, and then they have a bit of an inventory, and then they input items down to the bottom. The difference between hoppers and the chutes is that they interact with both the IC2 machines and your Buildcraft machines. So here, all we did is you have a chute, so you can put your different stuff up top here, and it'll feed into your macerator automatically, as long as the stuff is coming out of your macerator. And for that, we need a couple of different things. These are your Buildcraft pipes. These are the item transport ones, which are your automatic. What am I crafting table? There we are. Your item transport pipes are the kind of the basic Buildcraft pipes. You make your pipes and then you convert them to liquid or redstone power pipes. Just cobble on the outside of glass. It's really simple recipe, and so you can basically extend these as far as you want. As long as you put an item into it, they'll continue down. They have some different intricacies, and there's different pipes you can make to change up your items. Diamonds are the diamond pipes, which is just diamond on the outside of glass. Allows you to sort your pipes. The wooden ones are for extracting things, and so on like that. So to work with your machines, you put one wooden pipe out of the bottom of your IC2 machines, and that'll remove your items. So you can see this is coming, or taking cactus out of the furnace right now. And then you need an engine to power the pipe to move the item. And the engine I got set up here is your 2 wooden gears, a piston in the middle, piece of glass, and then 3 on top. That makes you a redstone engine. A redstone engine is a really low power engine, but it runs forever. It doesn't need any sort of fuel, where your stone or your combustion engines, your steam or your combustion engines need some sort of fuel. So the redstone engine is going to run forever as long as you power it with a redstone signal. This one I just have turned off because there's nothing coming out of the bottom of it. Just put your redstone signal down, engine starts to work. Engines start off blue, which is cold. They go through green, which is kind of normal running. Yellow is a kind of a warning temperature, and then red like this means that it's getting really hot and ready to blow up. If it starts to flash red, that means that it's critical. It's going to blow up very soon. Your redstone engines, as long as they are pointed into something like this, even if there's no items moving, as long as you're pointing into something like this, they're never going to blow up on you. Your Stirling engines and your combustion engines can blow up, and even the redstone engines, if this wooden pipe wasn't here, is in danger of blowing up. But like this is actually a safe setup. Another thing about Buildcraft is you can build what are called gates. You put them on the pipe here, and it's similar to a redstone torch, where you can provide a redstone signal to it, but it's able to detect stuff like the status of the engine and interact with redstone and stuff like that, so you can make controllable engines. And if one of the really nice features about it is you can detect the status of the engine and keep your engines in a safe mode. So yeah, that's changes I made here. So out of the bottom of the macerator, the items come up and are fed through a Buildcraft pipe into the chute. The chute just kind of acts like a buffer, essentially. So it just allows us to have a couple of different things up here. They get fed into an electric furnace. I don't quite know if I showed you guys that. I put it in an electric furnace rather than having our other furnaces. And it's just an iron furnace, which is the plates on the outside of the normal furnace, a redstone and an electric circuit. It's pretty cheap recipe. Our bat box is doing all right. If you run all three, you drain it of power, and using one, it just slowly built up power. Even using the 2, it was draining down a little bit. But for now, it's going to be enough, just because we're not going to be constantly using it. But yeah, we're going to need to up our power here sooner than later, especially once we get a quarry going. And yeah, that's it for the changes I made here. This chest is just a receiver of items, so as they come out of the furnace, it's coming into here. I started cooking a bunch of cactus, because your cactus greens, if you take them and just craft them one time, it gives you pipe sealant. You combine that with your pipes, even a wooden transport pipe here. You put that in there, you could also have fluid pipe. Okay, I think I'll need all these as well. I started laying down some fluid transport pipes here. These are just cobblestone fluid pipes. And I put some tanks at the end. That's the other thing I wanted to craft for you. Tanks store your liquids. It's just A-class around the outside, like this. It's really simple. That's some other recipe there. I wonder what that is. Empty jar. How about that? 8 around the outside gives you a tank. Tank holds 16 buckets of liquid for you. And you can insert and extract out of tanks, and they stack quite nicely. It's kind of a really nice early game way to store your liquids. Once you start talking about even more than 5 or 6 tanks worth, it's you have to get into the bigger tanks, the iron tank and stuff like that. And waiting for chickens. Starting to get there. Starting to get a little bit of fluid. I just grabbed a couple out of there, and yeah. So let's start talking about moving this oil. I didn't really realize this before, but this one over here isn't actually oil. This is something called sludge. If you hop in it, it gives you a bunch of weather weakness and nausea. Whoops, let's get out of there before it does anything silly. You can see it's kind of nicely stuff to be jumping in. If we take a bucket of it, it's sludge, not oil, which is what we wanted. And underneath this oil, there's actually, can't run. So down at the bottom of this oil is actually sludge as well. I guess there's a tiny bit of a texture difference, but oh, I'm gonna die. Shoot. Well, that was silly. Yeah, so anyways, a couple of these oil things that I was thinking were actually oil aren't. And that's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm gonna top in and grab a bunch of my stuff, I bet. That looks like most of it, not quite all, I don't think. Just wait for these potion effects to go away. Okay, let's take one more quick run through here and make sure we got everything. Hop out. There we go. Okay. So now what I hope is not going to happen is that sludge is going to get picked up into our pump. Our pump is a Buildcraft way for picking up liquids. It's it works the same way as just using a bucket and picking up a source block. And it only picks up source blocks. None of this oil that's flowing down here actually counts as source blocks. It's only up here where the source blocks are. And this is actually a really small amount of oil, but that's okay. We don't need too much to get started. So what I'm hoping is that it doesn't go down here and pick up the sludge, and it only picks up the oil up here. But we'll find out. Okay, so we need two things. We need a stone engine, which is like this. I need something to put in that engine too. I don't have anything. So same recipe, except with stone makes you a Stirling engine. Stirling engine burns stuff the same way a furnace does, either coal or coal, wood, anything you can run in a furnace runs in a Stirling engine. And it gives you millijoules, which is the Buildcraft power. The redstone engine basically gives you almost no power. The Stirling gives you a little bit, and then there's a combustion engine, which is the highest tier, and that gives you a lot more power than the Stirling. And that's what we're going for, is to turn this oil into fuel, and so we can run some run some combustion engines and run our quarry. So we have our combustion engine. We need a lever to, actually a redstone torch too would work. Need to give it a redstone signal to run it, and then we need to make a pump. Of course, I went and put all my stuff away. No, I don't have any wood on me. Redstone torch will work for us, actually. And so we have that. We have our coal, so we just need to make the pump, and then we're set. Okay, so on here, it takes an iron. Oh, I don't have any redstone either. Shoot. This is not going too well. Yeah, redstone's the last thing we need for it. Okay, so now that we have everything we need on here, and see if I remember this right too, it is an iron pickaxe, an iron gear, and redstone in the middle, then iron on the outside, and I don't think I have those in the right order. There we go. That makes us a mining well. What a mining well does is it works the same as a quarry, except it only does one block. So it just digs straight down for you, returns everything into an inventory, just going straight down. And it works, to be honest, but it doesn't really return you too much. You know, if you go straight down in just for one block, it doesn't give you much. So yeah, that's a mining well. It's, you know, part of the game, but doesn't really do you too much. And I had a tank. What happened to my tank? Oh, you know what? I dropped it in the sludge there. Okay. To make a pump, you take your mining well and you just put a tank on it. Gives you a pump. And now our pump we place down on top of any of the oil source blocks. Right there, it connects to our pipe. We don't need a wooden pipe to come out of the pump. It orients itself the right way too. And you know, we just need to give it some power and it's going to start moving oil for us. Most of the Buildcraft stuff will orient itself the right way. If you need to move it, you need a wrench, which is like this, the right Buildcraft wrench. This is the industrial craft wrench, the Buildcraft wrench, and that's just the Buildcraft one is for reorienting stuff. You can just break Buildcraft stuff and it gives it back to you. Okay, so we have that simple interface. Just put a couple pieces of coal in. Supply redstone power. You can see the engine starts to move, and we start to pick up oil. Now the pump works by picking up the source blocks of the oil. It starts from the furthest out, and it starts moving itself in. You can see that it's starting to pick up the source blocks on the outside there and bringing them in. And that looks like it's going to work because the source blocks aren't touching the sludge. If you have oil that's around water, as it picks up the source blocks, if it's over top of the water, it's going to start to pick up your water too, and that's kind of a pain in the butt. And all I did with this is I ran it over to some tanks in the distance there. We'll see. I don't know if I made enough or not. Maybe not. Anyways, we got our oil moving, guys. I'm gonna set the next couple of steps for turning that oil into fuel, and yeah, I'll be back with you guys then. Hi guys, welcome back. I just wanted to show you before we move this pump that all our oil is gone. You can see out of the bottom of the pump there's this center part that extends down, and it would actually continue to go down if you put it over top of I don't know, a spring or something like that. You just have to get it right over the center and it'll go all the way down. We need to take this pump with us. We can remove this oil line in at any time now. All the oil is moved over into our tanks here. And yeah, I think we're pretty well ready to start refining some oil. I think after we get our refinery down and working, I'm gonna call it quits for the episode there. So we have all our oil into these tanks. There's actually a little bit more than I was expecting. Each of these tanks holds 16 buckets. So, you know, this one's just over 32 buckets, and you know, there'd be maybe 60 or 70 buckets in there. So we get a fair amount of oil out of that, even that little pocket there. So I'm pretty happy about that. We're going to need just a little infinite source of water here. The idea is that this 3x3 allows you to put the pump over top of it, and it can always sit there and draw water out. We need that for our combustion engines to cool them down. So you can see our pump is going to, once we put a bit of power to it, it'll extend that center down, and it can always move some water. So we now need to make a refinery and a couple combustion engines. And to start off, we're going to need a bunch of gears. And need a bunch of that stuff too in a second here. Let's make a couple more even. Okay. The thing about it is once you start into Buildcraft, you're never really can make too many gears. You're always kind of coming back to make more. So our refinery needs 1 diamond gear, which has to go iron, gold, and diamond. And our engines are going to need 4 iron gears. So 4 or 5. Okay, I can make pretty well all those iron gears. Actually, we need 1 stone. Let's make 8 diamond gears. I need to bring up. Okay, so 8 iron. And then we need 3 diamond and 3 gold. 3. So your iron gears go up to diamond. Sorry, your iron gears. That should leave us, yeah. Will leave us enough diamonds to make up our pickaxe for the quarry. So we need 1 of these. My inventory is full of junk. The tanks, I need those. I need that. I need those 2 pistons. Need a little bit of glass. Open away. Okay, let's see if we can do this now. So it's 3 tanks, like that, 2 redstone torches, 1 diamond gear in the middle. That makes this a refinery. That's for converting the oil into fuel. And the last thing we need is 2 combustion engines. So we need 1 like that, 2 pistons, glass in the middle. You can see there's always, the engines are quite a uniform pattern for the quality. Okay, so now I want the refinery to go right about here. Let's the refinery right about there. I want it facing the other way. You can use the Buildcraft wrench to change your orientation, not even that direction. I want it like that. So it has 2 oil tanks on the back, and 1 fuel tank in the front here, and then it these things on the side show that it's working. When they're red like this, there's no power. They go through blue, and then green is when they're working at a high efficiency. My dogs are going crazy. Yeah, let me just deal with my dogs. I'll be right back, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry about my dog Zara. I usually try and settle them down with a bone, but they decided to be at each other's throats. All I did while we were away there was I got the two combustion engines placed down here. And these are two wooden electric pipes. I forget exactly what they're called. Conductive, I think. Kinesis now. Wooden kinesis pipes. You need one of those at the exit of the combustion engines before you start moving power to draw the power out of the engine, just the same way you use wooden pipe to draw the items outside of the industrial craft machines over there. The next thing to do is to start making some gold pipe. I made a couple there. I wanted to make just one more set here with a piece of glass. And there isn't too much point in using anything except gold pipe for power in Buildcraft. You can use stone, but the power loss over any sort of distance after about four pipes is pretty significant. So there isn't too much point in using anything except gold, in my opinion. So I just want to come up a couple here. And you just have to have everything connected in like this. And I usually try and run those up just a little bit so we have some room underneath to walk. By the time we get all our pipes run here, it's going to be a little bit messy. And this isn't, you know, the final place that I want to put everything. It's just kind of putting it here just to deal with to get it going here for you guys. Okay, so I need a bit of pipe sealant. Probably need another 16 pipes or so. And the same thing with, actually I don't even know if I said that yet. The quality of pipe that you use really impacts the speed of things. So your item, if you use gold for item pipes, the items go really quickly. If you use gold for fluid pipes, your fluids move really quickly. And the same thing with conductive pipes. There's almost no line loss with gold conductive pipes, and where there is with stone. And so I'm going to use gold here just because it speeds things up a lot. And we need one more wooden one. We need another redstone engine too, which I don't have. I guess not quite red. Okay, so if we go like that, this is going to move the oil into the tank, and this side here is going to move the fuel out and into this tank. And now our engines need some fuel as well. So what I'm going to do is just run a side chute like this, and that's going to just move a little bit of the fuel into the tanks there for us, into the engines for us, and it's going to store some of the fuel in these tanks as well. Typically, I would run the fuel for the engines after it comes through the tank, just because this way, when the fuel reaches this point here, it's going to have a 50-50 decision. That's how the Buildcraft pipes work, whether it goes into the tank or into the engines. Whereas if you run it off of this side, the line like this is going to fill up. If it runs like this line is going to fill up, and then it's going to start overflowing into the tank, and that just looks a little bit better. It doesn't really change anything about how it works, but the disadvantage of that is that we need another redstone engine on this side, and I don't have that right now. So if we just run it like this, it works just as well for us. I need to get rid of that. Okay, and now we need some water for the engines. I guess this will work just like that as well. You can see it's doubly connected into this pipe. No real way around that with with our size constraints, but it works for now. And then we need some power for the pump as well. We can just siphon off of this here. Like that. So that's I think all the setup we need. We need to move a bit of oil over. with a redstone signal. And then our engines will need just a little bit of oil to seed them, so we're just going to use a bucket. You can click on the engines, oh, and that puts it in. Oh, that's a new feature I haven't played with yet. It used to be that you had to open up the interface, put the bucket here, it would move it into the storage chamber, and now you can just click on it. And you can see just to grab the oil here, we're just clicking on the tank, and it's filling up our bucket. We're just going to put 1 bucket of oil in each, and once we apply some redstone power to the engines here, they're going to turn on, and then it's going to start powering our refinery. The refinery is going to start producing fuel, and we need another redstone engine for the bottom here to start moving the fuel. And the fuel is going to start filling up the tank and going down this line. It's not going to go anywhere right now because we have fuel in the engine, or oil in the engines. Once the engines run out of oil, they're going to start accepting fuel. This gauge here is the fuel gauge. In this case we're using oil instead of fuel, but this gauge is water to keep the engines cool. And once the engines start running, they're going to start powering the pump. The pump is going to start pushing water into the engines to keep them cool. So now we just need a redstone signal for each of the engines, which we can do with this. And the last thing to mention is that you really need to keep an eye on these engines, because they have a real tendency to overheat if your system's not set up correctly. You can see there's water starting to come into the tanks here. And our refinery is sort of working. You can see the color change there is showing how much power the refinery is going in. The refinery works best when the side things there are in green. That when they're green, that shows that it's working at a higher efficiency. Right now it's not getting very much power because our engines are only using oil. So that's just going to be enough to make a little bit of fuel. And then once we have a little bit of fuel, the engines... Okay, let's step back a second here. These combustion engines put out a different amount of fuel, or different amount of electricity depending on what they're burning. Lava, I think, is 1 megajoule, oil's 2, and fuel is 4, I think. So right now we're producing 4 MJs per hour. MJs per tick, sorry, not per hour. And that's not really enough to run this refinery very efficiently. So once we start producing fuel, we're going to double our power output, and that's going to hopefully run our refinery a little bit better. So yeah, anyways, we just need a bucket or 2 of fuel here, and then we'll be running a little bit better. And actually, what we can do right now is just go like this. And that'll move the fuel over into our engines without putting it in the tank just yet. The last thing we need is one more redstone engine, which I guess we can make pretty easily. No, I don't have enough cobble to make a piston. I'll just grab one from our industrial craft here for now. Might go sleep the night away here too, actually. And yeah, so I think we're making pretty good progress. That's probably a good place to call the episode too. I'll show you that our engines are starting to work there a bit. I just want to, before we set up our quarry, I want to think about storage a little bit. Our quarry is going to produce us a massive amount of cobble and dirt and sand and stuff like that. And if we don't really plan for that right away, it gets out of hand extremely quickly. So redstone engine goes there. We need to provide a signal. I'm saving our oak there for our quarry storage. I don't know if you saw in the temple there, but I have 1 barrel going already, and that's made with oak. And it's instead of a double chest, where a double chest stores you about 2,000 items, something like that, a barrel stores you double that. So I'm going to start using barrel storage instead of chest stuff. So you can see our oil's almost done there. As soon as the oil's done, the engine's going to shut off. It's going to start accepting the fuel. and then it's going to start running at a higher power, and that'll change our refinery over to okay. And underneath NEI here, each of the Buildcraft engines has a energy panel. Basically, what happens is the engine's making power at 2 millijoules per tick right now. It has a little bit of a buffer inside, so it instead of sending 2 out in the line, it sends it out in packets, and that's stored there. So it has a bit of a buffer too, so it can store up to 10,000 millijoules or something like that. And then it has a heat sensor as well. And that just shows you, and it's kind of tough to see underneath there. And what we saw happen there, guys, is the oil all disappeared, and now the engine has fuel in it. Both of them should have. This one doesn't have much in it. Just the way the piping is running, this engine's going to get a lot more fuel than this engine right now. And actually, that we can change that. Actually, that'll change as soon as we move our pipe back. But yeah, we're starting to make some fuel. The engine holds about 10 buckets, I think it is. Yeah, I think maybe it's 16. Can't quite remember. So anyways, the engines are going to fill up with fuel. Once this one gets a little bit of fuel into it, I'm going to break the pipe. We'll move it over and start storing up a bit of fuel as well. Yeah, we made some pretty good progress here. We're starting to make some real Buildcraft power, which we're going to need for our quarry there. And yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good place to call the episode. I'm gonna clean this up, change it around a little bit, probably clean up that pipe, and I'll see you guys back here shortly. I think next episode we really need to start increasing our industrial craft power, start making some bigger solar panels and stuff like that. And the next episode, I really hope to get our quarry down so that we start moving a bunch of stuff. I'll see you guys then.